I've got one question actually before we go. I may
Oh,
slip this in
okay.
as a bonus, just
Oh,
as
okay.
an additional one, because I'm curious, because we are in a very interesting state of flux politically, socially at the minute. We're kind of going from one era to another in terms of
Yeah, I
political
agree.
leadership.
Yeah.
And considering how much, unfortunately, sadly, religion still plays an integral part into certain people's political decision making, and how much, as much as it shouldn't be anywhere near politics, religion still is close sort of bedfellows with it to some degree. I'm curious as to what your take on the future of religion in America is, because from my outsider's perspective, as I said, it's still very much tied in, it's still very much in business. But the increase in sort of social political awareness with younger people, and the sort of disengagement from religion that I see in younger people is showing that it's maybe on the decline. And I was just wondering, like, what's your take on that?
Okay. I'm gonna do a little uh, self promotion just for
Sure,
the
go for it.
just partly answer your question.
Hmm.
My, when I wrote The God Virus, the subtitle is How Religion Infects Our Lives and Culture.
Hmm.
How Religion Infects Our Lives and Culture. And in the book, and I'll say it right now, every religion wants to infect the political structure.
Yeah,
And if it is successful, then it protects itself
yeah.
indefinitely.
Hmm.
Islam is indefinitely protected in Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. There's nothing that can assail it. Well, that's what's happening right now. Evangelical Christianity is attacking our system and trying to embed itself in our political structure. You cannot separate religion and politics. Religion is political in its very nature, and it
Hmm.
always wants to take over the culture.
Yeah.
You've got culture, and then you've got a culture, and then you got religion. And religion's always trying to inject like a virus into your and take it over. And if it succeeds, then you end up with a theocracy like they have in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
or a terrorist regime like they have in Afghanistan. And that's where we're going. And I'm not going to be optimistic here. I'm
Hmm.
not pessimistic, but I'm not
Right.
optimistic either. I don't know where religion's going, but it ain't looking too good right now in the United
Yeah.
States because we've allowed the religionists way too much space, and they have been able to infect the legislatures, the school districts, the school boards, the Congress. When they can get in there, they're it's hard to stop them once you let them in. They're
Mm.
like a disease. They just keep a cancer, if you will. They keep growing and growing, and that's where we're at right now. Bad answer to your question, probably, but that's
Yeah,
where I'm
it
seeing it.
no, no, it did. I think you really kind of hit the mark there in terms of it. As much as they should be separated, it's practically impossible to. And as much as I do have of optimism in, as I say, younger people coming up because they do have more socio-political awareness, it's the people that are active now which
Well,
are
you use
the
a
catalyst.
word. They should be separated. That is actually a fairly new idea.
Hmm.
The first nobody had really thought about this too much until the United States' Constitution.
Hmm.
But nobody in Europe separated religion and politics except the French in the French Revolution,
Hmm.
and they didn't do that successfully because it came back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
So this notion that we should separate religion and politics is still new to the planet.
Hmm.
It certainly is not something that the Muslims are going to agree to. It's
Right.
not something the Hindus are going to agree to. In fact, Hinduism is reasserting its fundamentalism in Modi, their president in India right now, and it's terrible. And
Hmm.
you see Belisario in Brazil, fundamentalist evangelical Pentecostal, same thing there. So what you've got is the infection at the very highest levels. These people are taking the disease to the deepest level of their particular cultures.
Right.
It's partly because they don't agree with the notion of church state separation. So it's a very new idea. And I'm not too pessimistic there, but I do think it's an idea that's going to take another 100 or 200 years for the
Yeah.
planet to
It's
accept.
it's it's gonna, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna take a while. But
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely will.